Hello everyone, welcome in today. We're going to be doing our final mock draft. You'll be seeing this Thursday, the day of the NFL draft, and everybody's excited for it to get underway. So let's get started in this. Bears are on the clock. Also, I want to mention there is no trades in this one. We're going to go straight down the order of the draft as it's set for now. And my goal is to get as many players into the first round that the NFL also ends up picking in the first round. So let's see how I do. At number 1, the Bears are going to take Caleb Williams. I don't see it going any other way. At pick number 2, I go Drake May. However, I think Jaden Daniels ends up being the pick for Washington. Like I said, I think he's a good player, but he's rated closer to like 20 for me. I just think that 15 to 20 range. I have a lot of issues with the way he handles the pocket, and I think that once the NFL pressure gets to him, he's going to make poor decisions in the essence of he's going to just tuck and run, and he's not going to look for his passing options. He ran into that problem in college. Little known fact, throwing on the move, as far as the percentage and how many times he did it in college, he threw on the move, like rolling out and throwing it or scrambling and throwing it less than Michael Penix did at Washington. That's kind of crazy when you think about how little Penix runs. And that's one of my concerns with him. And I don't like the way he maneuvers the pocket, but he's the pick at number 2. At pick 3, New England's on the clock. And here they go Drake May. I hope that if he's on the board, they don't overthink it and go JJ McCarthy. I think Drake May is the better prospect. I think he has a bigger upside. I think the Patriots have to go with him. After settling for Mac Jones last time, let's not make the mistake again. At pick 4, Arizona's on the clock, and they're going to go Marvin Harrison Jr. I could see them honestly going a different direction, but Harrison, he's just steady and consistent throughout this entire process. And, although I don't like that he didn't work out, I guess once you hear him, I heard an interview where he talked about his reasoning for not doing it, and it makes sense. He rested after the season. He followed his normal routine in an effort to make sure he had a better rookie season and to continue developing as a football player instead of as basically a track athlete. So I do understand where he's coming from with that. At pick 5, the Chargers are on the clock. And personally, I think they got to take a receiver in this position, but a lot of talk out there that they would go tackle. So I'm going to give him Talise Fuaga. And I know that might be a little crazy, him being the first tackle off the board. I think Joe Alt makes a lot of sense, and he is the best tackle in my opinion. But I do expect the Chargers to trade back, so this is also me kind of hedging a bet here. But I think he's a right tackle, which is what Chargers need. They don't need a left tackle, and Alt's better suited on the left side. So they go with a little bit of a mauler and somebody who fits what they're looking for a little bit better. At pick 6, the Giants are up, and honestly, I think that if JJ McCarthy's here, they take JJ McCarthy at pick 6. Not a whole lot to talk about there. I have him rated. I kind of have a tier with Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, and JJ McCarthy. I think they're all really close together. And the thing is, the reason Penix isn't above McCarthy is because of his age. That's the only reason. And the fact that McCarthy has room to grow. I think Penix is a little bit more NFL ready. And I think that although he has some, not that his passes are inaccurate where they're uncatchable, they're just not always in the right spot so the receiver can get run after catch. I think he's a better prospect for a team nowadays than McCarthy, but I think McCarthy has a slightly higher ceiling maybe, so McCarthy gets the edge. He goes at pick 6. At pick 7, Tennessee's on the clock, and they still take Joe Alt. This probably won't happen because everybody predicts it, but to me, it just makes too much sense. They need a left tackle. Maybe they do decide that Olu Fashanu is just a better tackle prospect like we all thought early on, back in summer when everybody started looking and talking about this draft class. But that would be the only surprise I could see here. At pick 8, Atlanta's on the clock, and they go defense. And I think they need an edge rusher. Although I like Jared Verse, I'm going to give him Dallas Turner here at pick 8. I also like Leatu Latu, but medicals push him down the board. At pick 9, Chicago's up, and I think they go Verse. I don't think there's any question there, and I do think they would pass on a receiver in this situation, just because of the fact that they need defense more. At pick 10, with the way the board fell, the Jets go ahead and take Rome Odunze, who is somebody similar to Devontae Adams, so I think that makes a lot of sense. At pick 11, Minnesota's up on the clock, and in this scenario, they're actually going to go ahead and take Malik Neighbors since he's here. I know that's kind of crazy and redundant, but with him falling, I'm kind of projecting trades in here. I got to be honest with you. So I think Minnesota's going to end up probably getting McCarthy, and Neighbors probably goes to the Giants. But at the same time, without trades, this is how it works out. So I know it kind of messes up the numbers, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you look at it, but it's just the best way to go about it, in my opinion. I think Neighbors goes to the Giants at pick 6. I think Minnesota jumps, but without trades, this is how I'm kind of baking in a trade without actually doing a trade. At pick 12, Denver's up on the clock. And truthfully, I think they probably should go quarterback and take Michael Penix Jr. However, maybe they really do believe in Zach Wilson. So if they do, I think you could see them take tight end Brock Bowers here with this selection. So at 13, that leaves Vegas, and I honestly think they go Michael Penix. I'm a big fan of Michael Penix Jr. I think that he is closer to Jayden Daniels than a lot of people think. In my opinion, he maybe is a touch below Daniels because of Daniels' athleticism. And Daniels does have a pretty accurate arm. I got to give him credit for that. I'm just big on Penix. I really think that he does everything the NFL's looking for in a quarterback. And, you know, maybe he doesn't run a lot, which is where people are going to love Jayden Daniels, especially in fantasy for that reason. But I fear Jayden Daniels is going to end up just like Justin Fields. And I don't know. There's something about him I don't like that much. Pick 14, New Orleans is up. They need a tackle. No question about it. They're actually going to go with J.C. Latham and take a right tackle here in this situation. So at pick 15, Indy's on the clock. And if we go back to our all board and just look at where they're at, they're going to take Quinyon Mitchell, the top corner on the board here. At pick 16, Seattle's up. And I think Seattle's going to go Byron Murphy, a fantastic defensive tackle who truthfully has risen up a lot of draft boards. I just have a hard time swapping him and Johnny Newton. I'm a big fan of Johnny Newton, so I've had a tough time, but I can see Murphy's upside. At pick 17, Jacksonville's up. They need a corner, and they're going to take Terry and Arnold in this situation, even though I think this could potentially be a Cooper DeJean area pick. At pick 18, Cincinnati's up. And for the Bengals, honestly, I think they could use more edge help. And I honestly kind of think they could use a right tackle for the long term. So we're going to look at tackle class, and they're going to go ahead and take a big swing on upside here. Since they have Trent Brown who can play right tackle for them, they're going to take Amarius Mims and hope to develop him for next season. At pick 19, the Rams are up, and they're going to take Laiatu Latu. That's a risk. I could see him falling out of the first round due to injury concerns. He's a fantastic player and probably the best edge rusher for the NFL today. Like, if he's going to be the best one walking in as long as he's healthy. At pick 20, Pittsburgh's up. I think they need interior of the offensive line, and I actually think they are going to go ahead and take Graham Barton here at pick 20. At pick 21, the Miami Dolphins are up. I think they could be interested in a receiver, even though they probably shouldn't be. They should be interested in interior of the O-line. There's a lot of talk about Jackson Powers Johnson falling, even though I don't believe he should. There's got to be something there that I just don't know about. Or teams are hoping they can talk him into falling a little bit by dragging his name, which could potentially happen. So at pick 21, Miami's up, and they're going to go ahead and take Cooper DeJean. At pick 22, Philly is on the clock. Here, the Eagles could really use a tackle. They could also really use a corner. However, I'm not as high on the corners in this situation. I'm going to go ahead and give him Olu Fashanu since he fell. I don't think there's any chance he's down this low on the board, but without the trades, everything shakes out a little bit weird, truthfully. So at pick 23, Minnesota's up. And they already took Malik Neighbors, which to me still doesn't make sense. Like I said, trade that with J.J. McCarthy, honestly. I just didn't want to bake a trade in. Everybody needs to remember that. So thinking like this pick doesn't necessarily belong to the Vikings, it's hard to figure out who this would be since I didn't really declare whether it's the Chargers trading back or, and honestly, if it was the Chargers, which makes the most sense to me, I think right here, that would be Fuaga. Neighbors goes to the Giants. Minnesota takes him. So in this situation, looking at kind of the Chargers, which is who would be the ones picking in this slot, I think they go ahead and take Brian Thomas Jr. with this selection. At pick 24, Dallas is up. Troy Fontanu here. They take him. No questions asked. Fantastic pick for the Giants. It couldn't have fallen any better. Green Bay's up at pick 25. Now, they kind of do need a corner. I'm just not that high on Nate Wiggins, and I think Kool-Aid McKinstry stands a good chance of going here. So I'm going to put Kool-Aid McKinstry here. At pick 26, Tampa's up. They need edge. I'm not high on Chop Robinson, but I'm going to put him in at this pick and say the NFL's going to view his athleticism as a reason to take him. Now, at pick 27, Arizona's up. And I think they're going to take Jerzon Newton, and you can't go wrong with that pick if he's there, in my opinion. At pick 28, Buffalo's on the clock. I could see A.D. Mitchell dropping, honestly. But the thing is, I don't know who to put in his place. Maybe a Keon Coleman for Buffalo. But that's kind of rich for my blood. And I do think the NFL is going to punish him for a slow 40 time. I think he's more likely to be a top of the round 2 pick. I just don't think I'm going to give him A.D. Mitchell and take a chance that he ends up going in round 1. At pick 29, the Detroit Lions are up on the board. And truthfully, I think they need interior of the offensive line. And if we look at tackle class, I honestly am going to give him Jordan Morgan with the intention that he slides in to play guard for them. At pick 30, Baltimore's up. And honestly, I think Tyler Guyton makes a ton of sense for them. And I'm going to put Tyler Guyton to the Ravens here at pick 30. At pick 31, San Francisco's up on the clock. And I'm going to give the 49ers Nate Wiggins here and take a chance. And I think he'll go in round 1. I just size concerns really do think make me think he's going to go down the board later. At pick 32, the Kansas City Chiefs are up on the clock. And this one here is kind of a risky pick, but I'm going to give them Xavier Legette, even though I think he's more of a round 2 pick. I just think he could move up into the first round. Teams get enamored with size and speed, so he might be the guy that jumps up, even though I'm not sure he should be. So as we go ahead and take a look at our recap here, it starts off pretty normal with Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Marvin Harrison. Now that 5's where it gets weird. Like I said, imagine this is a trade up. We're not doing trades, so imagine this is a trade up. Giants drop back. JJ McCarthy actually goes here, and then the guy Malik Neighbors here at 11 ends up actually going to the Giants at pick 6. Then at 7, Joe Walt, 8, Dallas Turner. And you can see, honestly, I don't think this is that bad of a mock draft. This one might actually be the closest to where about these players probably end up going. And I did take a chance at the very end and put Xavier Legette in the first round. You guys got to tell me what you think below. This is our final mock draft, and I'm excited for the NFL draft to kick off later today when you guys are seeing this. I hope you guys enjoy, and hopefully you guys understand the weirdness here with, like I said, Malik Neighbors dropping to 11. That's not where he's going to end up. He's going to go at 6, in my opinion, in this. But I'm LDJ11. I want to thank you for watching. Sorry for the baby crying in the background. There's not much I can do about that nowadays. I need to get this video up for y'all. I'll be back with more soon, and we'll be back on just our franchise content soon. Have a great day, and I'm out.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink, cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar.